What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, thank you, God, for another day and opportunity. Thank y'all, the Rich Gang family, and man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now, anybody who wants to join the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. Can we reach 50 likes on this video? And last but definitely not least, go ahead and comment down right now, where are you tuning in, watching from today? So as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen today, I am bringing y'all the most rare post-score build name. And this build is actually going to be called the Back to Basket Big. And we're going to be able to shoot from deep, play some pretty good defense. Then when it comes down to what we're going to be able to do with our actual post moves, very toxic build, especially if you do grind this build out to 99 overall. So the first thing you want to go ahead and do is put this build under the power forward position. Now, when it comes down to the breakdown of the pie chart, you can definitely make this build out of different pie charts, but the one that I'm going to go with is going to be split with the shooting and the finishing, but we're going to have a little bit more green, which is the shooting on this pie chart. Now, when it comes down to the physical profile, this is all based off of your preference. Now, you can pick the first one for the maximum speed, or if you want to go with the fourth one to be more balanced all around, I would highly recommend picking that fourth one because we get a huge boost put towards our vertical. So, when it comes to the breakdown of the actual attributes, all y'all gotta do is make sure that you follow along with what I bring y'all, and I promise you, you are gonna get the build name. So, we're gonna go ahead and start out with the finishing. I'm gonna go with a close shot of 93, driving layup 72, driving dunk a 73. Then I'm going to go ahead and max out my standing dunk, and then as for the post hook, I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way up to an 85. And right there, we're going to be able to get a total of 20 finishing badges. And I'm really liking this build, how it's looking for the finishing end, especially with what we're going to be able to do. If you want to make your own adjustments, you definitely can do so. All you got to go ahead and do to get that is just make sure that you lower each attribute from each category and see if you maintain the same badge count that I'm bringing to y'all. But when it comes down to the shooting, I'm going to go with a mid-range shot of 76, max out your three-pointer, then from there I'm going to go with the 68 free throw as well as a 93 post fade, and we're going to be able to get 21 shooting badges. Now if we go ahead and take a look at the playmaking, I'm going to go with a pass accuracy of 70, max out that post control, and right there we are able to get 14 playmaking badges. Now the rest of the attributes are for the defensive end. So what you really need to consider is if you did decide to go ahead and grind out each season, you're going to be able to get at least 7 extra badges put towards this build. So that is really something that I would consider, especially if you were one to get every single attribute upgrade from the seasons. You're going to be able to make not only this build more overpowered, but every single build that I'm dropping for y'all. That is literally coming into Season 8, you'll be able to get at least 8 extra badge upgrades, which means on this build, once we go into Season 8, you'll have the potential of getting 9 defensive badges if you do put them towards this area. And if you feel like making your own adjustments on this build, you definitely can do that as well. But again, you do risk changing the build name. So if you feel like going with that risk, go ahead and make your own changes. However, if you want to keep it as I brought it to y'all today, I promise you everything will work out in your favor with the build name. But as you can see right here, I'm just trying to show y'all that you actually can get some defensive badges out of this build if you do make the correct adjustments. But for my liking, since I have been grinding, I would go ahead and say if you have the extra badge points, this is going to be the perfect way to make this build, because all you got to go ahead and do is throw the badges into the defensive area, and then from there everything's going to be set. Now let's go ahead and check out the defensive end. If you do decide to throw the extra badges into this area, just imagine how much more success you're going to have on this build, especially if you were to take it into the 1v1 court. Now, once it comes down to the body shape, this should all be based off your own preference, but I'm going to go with either burly or built. Now, for the height, this is a crucial factor of this build. So for my liking, I'm going to go with 6'9". Then once it comes down to the weight, you definitely want to go ahead and drop this all the way down to the lowest. That way we're able to get the maximum speed out of this build. And as you can see right here, with Gym Rat as well as hitting 99 overall on this build, we're going to be able to get at least an 80 speed, 78 acceleration with an 86 vertical. Now, once it comes down to the wingspan, you have a few different options to pick from. You can go with the lowest 81.0 or to 83.0. Anything in between will be fine, but as long as you like what the wingspan is looking like, I promise you, you're still going to get the build name as well as still be able to get the park dunks, because we do have that threshold of having a 70 driving dunk. Now, with the takeovers, that's going to play a huge factor in what this build is going to be looking like. Now, once we go ahead and add on the post scoring or the sharpshooting takeover, this is what's really going to set the build up for success in any game mode. So for my liking, I would definitely go ahead and pick the sharpshooting takeover, just so that way we are able to spread the floor a little bit better. And as y'all can see, together we were able to create the most rare post scoring build in all of 2K, the one and only back to basket big. Now, from here, we have a few other things that we got to go ahead and look into. One, adding the +4 at 99 overall, adding the +4 from Gym Rat. Once you buy your own boost, that's another +4. And if you do decide to run with the correct teammates that have floor general as well as defensive leader on Hall of Fame, that's a +12. And since we did pick the sharpshooting takeover, go ahead and add a +10, which gives us a +22 in takeover with all these factors taken into account. Now, essentially, you'll be able to get into the 90s both for the mid-range shot as well as a three-pointer. But if you did decide to go with the post-scoring takeover, this is really going to be one of the best builds, because take into account that in the post-scoring takeover, you'll be able to get a 99 close shot as well as a 99 post-took. Then from there, you're going to be able to bring up your driving layup as well as your driving dunk, both into the 90s. Now, the standing dunk will go up as well, but once it comes down to the playmaking, I'm telling you, the post control will go up, especially if you do add that +12 put towards this area. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get into the breakdown of the badges. And since we are going into Season 8, let's just consider this build to have an extra 8 defensive badges if you were to add them towards this area of the build. Really going to make it a completely different mindset of what this build is going to be able to do. But more so importantly, on the defensive end, you're going to be able to honestly be one of the best all-around defenders because of the versatility when it comes down to both the defensive end that we have as well as the offensive end. Now, the only badge that I did go with for the defensive end was going to be Intimidator for now, but if you did have the extra badge points, go ahead and spread the wealth best to your ability. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of what we're going to be looking like for the playmaking. So, starting out, we have 14 total badges, and there are definitely ones that I would highly recommend putting on for this build. I'm going to go with first, quick first step, quick chain. Then I'm going to go with triple threat juke as well as hyperdrive. Now, if you wanted to, you can definitely go ahead and take off quick chain, or you can lower it one tier so that way we're able to get post playmaker, or completely take it off and put on unpluckable on silver. Now, this is the setup for the playmaking that I feel comfortable using. Let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of what we're going to be looking like for the finishing. So we get a total of 20 badges for this area of the build, and honestly, I'm going to go ahead and start it out with posterizer as well as limitless takeoff. Easily two of the best finishing badges to pair up with together in all of 2K this year. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in hook specialist as well. All of these badges are really going to work well together. Now we have 11 more remaining, so I'm going to go with slithery finisher. Then from here, with the extra 8, if you wanted to, I would consider Lob City finisher, but I would definitely throw on unstrippable on bronze as well as gold fearless finisher. Now, back down punisher is another badge that I really like to run. Then for the very last one, if you want to upgrade unstrippable, you definitely can do so, or you can go ahead and throw on Lob City finisher just to be safe with getting the Lob City finishing animations. It really comes down to what you feel comfortable with, but for my liking, as long as you have on the main gold badges that I have right here, everything will be set. I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade unstrippable. Now, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. So, 21 total badges. I'm going to go with first, one of the most important badges for any build, Sniper on Hall of Fame, as well as Hot Zone Hunter. Now normally, the route I would take from here would be definitely to spread the wealth, but considering that this build is able to play like a stretch big, I'm going to go with Deadeye on Hall of Fame, and that still leaves us with an extra 9 badges remaining. So, if you wanted to spread the wealth, I would go with at least Green Machine on Bronze and really consider throwing on badges like Corner Specialist, Catch and Shoot, or anything else, even Stop and Pop, or even one of the other badges that I would consider would be Fade Ace because of what we're going to be able to do with the post scoring on this build. Now, difficult shots would only make this build more unique and toxic. I'm going to leave it up to y'all, but for my liking, I'm going to go with Limitless Spot Up, then Bronze Corner Specialist, as well as Catch and Shoot. And this is our setup: 20 finishing badges, 21 shooting, 14 playmaking, and 1 defensive. Again, thank you God for another day and opportunity, and shout out to those of you who made it to the very end. Y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications so you can join the Rich Gang family. Can we go ahead and reach 50 likes on this video? And last but not least, with all that being said, y'all better comment down right now, where did you tune in from today? And man, thank you again. Thank God for another opportunity. And Rich out.